right, what do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea!
OJ Simpson kills those two people so hard, they stop making the Ford Bronco.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you're doing, and whyever you're doing it. It's me, Legal Vices, glad to have you here for another OJ Simpson Thursday. I hope everything is going well with everybody. It's going to be more of the same this week. Dennis Fung getting his behind handed to him. It's more of the same, but it progressively gets worse as we go along. We're in part 7 now. For the last the 6 Thursdays we've done the OJ Simpson trial stuff, we've been watching Dennis Fung, LA criminologist, just get decimated by BARRY SCHECK. And it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. It's going to take a while to get through this amazing cross-examination. While we're waiting for our guest, Chandler Remington, it's not because she's late. It's because I forgot to send her the link. I just sent her the link, so she should be here in just a minute. Wow, as we know, let's do a little bit of housekeeping while we're waiting to get started here. First of all, wow, that was a message. I'll get to that in a second. First of all, Taylorship Business, the Taylorship Business update. I'm sure all of you have seen it. If you haven't, well, here it goes. The trial that was supposed to start on March 6th isn't going to start on March 6th. Why isn't it going to start on March 6th? Because her defense lawyer, her public defender, argued that he needed 2 more weeks to obtain the results of the evaluation from the defense's evaluator to determine whether or not Taylorship Business was competent to stand trial. And the judge very reluctantly agreed to give him the 2 additional weeks. And then Taylorship Business attacked her lawyer in the courtroom. So, yeah, that happened. Taylorship Business attacked her lawyer in the courtroom, and then her defense lawyer immediately made a motion right there on the spot before he even stood up to withdraw from the case. And the judge is now considering the motion, whether or not he should be allowed to withdraw. Hey, Steph, the alternate in the house, nice and bright and sunshine. Well, not sunshiny for her, in the middle of the night. Yeah, so we'll have to see how the Taylorship Business thing goes out. As you know, we've been following the Taylorship Business trial from the very beginning of my little stint here on YouTube. That was one of the very first things we talked about because it is so amazing, the entire case. But her attacking her lawyer, the judge now has to decide whether to let her lawyer not recuse himself, to just withdraw from the defense. If that happens, it's going to be a long time before it goes to trial. It's because a new public defender is going to have to be appointed. They're going to have to familiarize themselves with the case. They're going to have to go through thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of evidence and documents and all this other stuff. Tomorrow, we're going to talk in depth about this. We're just going to do some coverage of cases tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be like a Law Racks Law Rant. That's kind of what I think that's what I'm going to call it. We're going to call it the Law Racks Law Rant for Friday morning U.S. time, Friday nighttime. Flux and I will be doing our Unexplained, where we're going to be talking about balloons and other things shot down over the United States and Canada, UFOs, and generally unexplained things. But we will definitely hit the Taylorship Business case tomorrow. We'll be watching the courtroom feed where she attacked her lawyer from 2 different angles, and I'll be giving you my thoughts. My spoiler alert thoughts. she didn't really freak out and attack her lawyer. She knew what she was doing. And I'll talk about why I think that tomorrow when we review that. But I just wanted to let you know, in case you hadn't seen, and she literally attacked her lawyer minutes after we signed off yesterday. Not yesterday, whenever the hell it was we did the Taylor Should Business thing. Very, very soon after that, just minutes after that, she attacked her lawyer. So I've been getting videos all week of all of this. But so thank you very much for everybody that sent videos and kept me in mind when you're reading about this absolute crap fest that is the Taylor Should Business trial. But we'll be getting into the details of this most recent hearing tomorrow, along with some other cases. And then we'll be doing the unexplained thing. And then next Monday, we'll be doing another Maritime Monday. And I'm not sure what's going to be going on then. And for those of you that watched the Steve Gosney deal yesterday, when we reviewed his arguments in front of the appellate court, Florida Court of Appeals. He will be on. We talked about it. We got a date set up for March 7th. March 7th, he'll be on, and he'll be available to ask any questions you have about that particular video that we watched yesterday. So if you haven't seen the Stephen Gosney video that we did yesterday, go back and watch that. It was a great 2-hour show. It was a great 2-hour presentation. I'm pretty darn proud of myself. And it took a while to wind down. I got my adrenaline going because Steve Gosney is the man. All right, so check that on your calendar. March 7th, boom. Stephen and Gosney will be here for an extended visit to talk about that video and answer your questions. You had lots of good questions that I couldn't answer because I'm not a Florida appeals lawyer. So Steve will be your man to answer all those questions. All right, we've got about another hour and 20 minutes before. We'll bring our guest on. She's been waiting. Well, she's not our guest now. She's the new co-host of the show. It's Chandler Remington.
Hey, thanks so much for having me again. I'm so happy to be here.
You don't have to. You're the co-host now, so you know.
Well, that's awesome. I've been promoted. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
This is the first time hearing of this. Thank you.
5 a.m. where she is. What an insane, crazy thing to do. Be awake at 5 a.m. on my stream. I think that's when I decided that it's about time I should start thinking about going to sleep. It's about 5 a.m.
Yeah, well, I'm up, so I might as well, right? I'm here to talk OJ.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. But the Murdaugh trial starts in an hour and 20 minutes. So we got about an hour and 20 minutes of Dennis Fung here. And man, some people, I don't understand the people that just go to your comment section just for the purpose of saying you're talking shit. I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were watching the appellate hearing and it was like, because I said this guy's life is literally hanging in the balance for a 20-minute argument. Well, that's disingenuous for you to say his life is hanging in the balance because all of the written briefs are things and the questioning is the oral argument is just questions to be asked. You don't seem to like the judge asking questions. Oh, and P.S. Why don't you learn how to pronounce Murdaugh?
I mean, let's be fair. First of all, his own lawyer pronounced it 2 different ways in his opening statement. So there's that.
That was my response. My response was, okay.
Second of all, I've heard all of his team pronounce it 2 different ways interchangeably throughout the trial. Murdaugh, that's Alec, Alex. The man has like 6 different names. So that's
why you're the co-host of this show, because you're smart.
Thank you. Takes one to know when. No, but really, yes, his life hanging in the balance. Yeah, no, that's your statement, correct?
Yes. I said it just boils down to that 20-minute argument whether he goes to jail for 10 years and has to pay a $182,000 fine for being drunk and walking a child down the middle of an empty street.
Yeah.
But I have to.
Wait, what? Are we not talking about the Murdaugh case? I'm sorry. I thought we were.
We're talking about the Stephen Gosney deal we did last night with the lawyer extraordinaire Stephen Gosney's appellate case in front of the Florida Supreme Court.
Well, then my commentary doesn't apply at all. I was talking about Murdaugh. You can tell how early it is here for me.
No, you're still smart. It exactly applies because that was the thing. I'm got to bringing up the comments. Is Gosney
the not correct pronunciation?
No. You're absolutely you're on point. Hang on, don't.
Okay,
You know,
okay. I'm catching up here. I made some tea, so I'm gonna gonna wake up a little bit.
Oh, geez, my tea. I got to take it out here. Hang on. No, I'm trying to bring this up because it cracked me up. I'm trying to find the.
You've got to love cranky people on the internet. They'll certainly tell you how they feel and what they think.
Oh my gosh, did they delete it? That would be even funnier.
That would be interesting.
Overzealous prosecution and thus welcome to Florida. Thank Governor Gosney. So happy he did this. While they repeat this. Where is this? You're a disingenuous. There we are. They didn't delete it. No, they were talking about the Steve Gosney thing. I was saying the appellate arguments, his life's hanging in the balance. And no, that's exactly what it is. You know, if you screw up on the appellate argument, the oral part of the arguments, you can sink your case no matter how well written your briefs are, and vice versa. Certainly. If you've got a halfway decent brief and you make stellar arguments, you can persuade the judges to accept your arguments. But then it was like at the end of this, well, you're disingenuous for saying his life was hanging in the balance. And P.S. learn to pronounce Murdoch correctly. So
it was like, I see. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so you have the intermingling of both cases. I was like, I'm not familiar with that case, but no, I mean it's
Well, you were spot on.
How else are you supposed to characterize an appellate argument, though? Of course, his life is hanging in the balance.
Well, it was the P.S. thing because it was like the P.S. had nothing to do with it, and I said, well, P.S. as long as you're feeling superior and feeling the need to belittle others and assume others are ignorant, would you be so kind as to tell me which pronunciation of Murdoch you would prefer that I use so that you may feel you've educated me on something I'm already aware of? So are you referring to the most common way people pronounce it as Murdaugh? Are you referring to the way some people, including those close to him, pronounce it Murdoch? Or, and let's see how closely you've been paying attention, are you referring to how he himself pronounces it, which is he pronounces it Murdoch?
I know. They all say it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You can do your best to, imitate the low country accent.
Yeah.
But ultimately he's Richard Alexander Murdoch. But then he's Alec, but he's also Alec. Then he's Alex, and it's.
So I just said, please let me know and I will exert my best efforts not to offend your ear holes. Steph, the alternate, you'll be happy. I used the term ear holes in response to one of my commenters.
Oh, Steph is with us. Hey, Steph. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're here. That's so cool.
So I said, please let me know, and I will exert my best efforts not to offend your ear holes again with the pronunciations that you particularly disapprove of. So that's the thing. I love
that.
It was all Murdoch because that's the way it's spelled for a year until it comes up to trial. And then you go, okay, wait, people are starting to pronounce it Murdoch. And then in his police questioning, they're like, did you state your name? He's like, Alec Murdoch. I'm like, all right. But I've been pronouncing it Murdoch for so long that occasionally I revert back to Murdoch instead of Murdoch. But that's like P.S. It's like, oh, geez.
Well, Jeff, everybody knows that you can only have a correct take on the legal issues in this case if you pronounce the name correctly 100% of the time. Yeah. I mean, we all know that, of course, like Amber Heard's lawyer, the famous Elaine, she made an effort to say Amber's name the wrong way before she called her up to the stand. So, it's iffy for me.
All right, with that rant out of the way, it was just amusing. To finish the back of the house stuff here, we have Xcomer Triple Z with the first super chat of the day.
Oh, fabulous.
Have you been playing that wizard game? No, I've got to get through Elden Ring before I even think about doing anything else. I'm like 155 hours in, and I'm really just sort of getting the inkling that I'm really, really not even close to being done, and it's really scaring me.
I've heard Elden Ring is really, really good.
Oh, it is. It's fantastic. X-Homer also said it's pronounced murder dough. That'll work. And fondant Southern families often change how their family names are pronounced after a huge family split. It's common. My own family has done that. My family, they all just got the people at Ellis Island are like, yeah, we'll just spell your name however we want.
Yep, same with my family. Polish, names just we're just gonna take the J's and the Z's out of there and just make it very anglicized. So the nuances are kind of lost to history.
The Lithuanian side went from urbanitas to urban. Yeah, don't leave the etus off. You don't need that. And then the O'Finlays became Finleys, spelled incorrectly. But anyway, we've got our like poll. So hit that like and subscribe button. We picked up a bunch of subscribers yesterday. It was a really good day. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Today's like and subscribe poll is: did you hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed? Of course I did. I'm not funging stupid. And fung, I forgot there. Now I did. Those are your two options. So take the like and subscribe poll after you hit the like and check that you're still subscribed. Super chats, we're doing those again, not required, but every super chat gets read because I gratefully accept all of your hard-earned cash that you throw at me. So that's it. Let's go. We are here. It is time to stop doing all of this background stuff and jump right back into our Dennis Fung thing. Chandler Remington, who has now been blessed to be the new co-host of the show. If it's a permanent guest, they're not really a guest. Co-host, sidekick, whatever. Quickly grift yourself. I know that I noticed that after I finally figured out the mnemonic to memorize your Twitter handle, you went and changed it.
I did. I thought, it might be a little less confusing. So I'm Chandler Remington. I'm a paralegal from Los Angeles, California. I'm on Twitter, and my handle is actually underneath my name right there. So it is at Remy_legal. You can follow me there.
There you go.
I do a lot of takes on different cases that are currently going on, and I'm very interested in cases in which men are victimized by women.
Nicola Maxwell, our local Scots, says, I'll tell you how to pronounce it properly, Jeff, when I'm better. It can't be said with the American accent. No, don't pronounce it correctly. The commenter didn't want to know how they pronounce it in Scotland. They wanted to know how they pronounce it. And they being whoever it is that he thinks is pronouncing it correctly. It's either Murdoch, or Murdoch, and he really objected to Murdoch, so he's either going for Murdoch or Murdoch. So we'll just have to. He definitely doesn't want the proper pronunciation.
I think some people just like to find things to be salty about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you said your name wrong. I've actually heard that. Some people are told that occasionally. All right, so we've got Chandler Remington, paralegal extraordinaire, new co-host / sidekick / all-around good person here, joining us for ever now, I guess, for the OJ Simpson Thursdays, as long as your schedule and ability to wake up before 5 a.m. allows you to do so.
I can do it. I'm just wondering, when we get through Fung, is it going to be 8 weeks from now? He's on the stand for 9 days, practically. So
we're 8 weeks in. We're 8 weeks in, and
we've got to get through Fung. We've got to. I'm here through Fung at least.
That'll be a long time. So where we left off, he was having some problems. He's been having problems for the last 7 weeks. The big deal last time was I guess the main things last week was there's lots and lots of pools of blood, lots and lots of blood spots, and he only did some blood swatches on a few of the spots. And I was like, well, why didn't you do the others? Well, I already had some from similar deals, and he decided which ones were important and which ones weren't important to swatch. And he didn't keep a number of how many of these blood swatches he had, and he just stuck them all together in one bag. And he couldn't answer the question, gee, how many are in there? How many are in there when you tested them? How many are left? Oh, you don't know if someone has stolen some swatches with a victim's blood on them because you didn't bother to count how many you put in the bag. And you didn't bother to record how many were in the bag.
Yes, he failed to fill out all of those extemporaneous reports, indicating things. I mean, it could have taken him, 15 minutes at most?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why he didn't do it, but it certainly isn't procedure. It doesn't look like it anyway.
And we wrapped up last week with they'd removed the center console of the Bronco, and it had some blood stains on the side. And no matter how much they tried to get Dennis Fung to say the blood marks are in exactly the same position as they were left in, he wouldn't agree to say that. He wouldn't have agreed if they would have said, is it light or dark outside last night? And it was looking bad for him. We're going to go back about 2 minutes and just play straight on through, kind of get you a little caught up. And I shouldn't have stopped the screen. I should have shared the screen. That's pretty good. Righto, bing, there we go. Let's bring, this is our man of the hour, Barry Scheck, and Salty Hard R Water Brain. Yeah, you need to take that salt out, that particular brand of salt. Which police investigation was sloppier, OJ or Murdoch? Oh, OJ, definitely OJ.
OJ for sure.
Definitely OJ. Murdoch, if you're listening, dude. Murdoch, they're having. No, that's just incomplete and just kind of lazy. That was with we know who did it, so we're just gonna build our case around who we know did it. But yeah. OJ was much worse. Righto, here we go. Let's dive in. Oh, any last words before we dive in, Chandler?
Well, no, let's do it.
All right. Do it, Fung.
He's back in the laboratory.
All right. Let me know how the volume is. The court is always hot. I think the court's probably going to be hot.
And the spot that's labeled 304, that red stain area, is that in the same position as the one that was marked, that you marked as 31 on June 14th?
It's in the same relative area.
Mm-hmm. And does it appear to have as much red stain, taken into account lighting conditions, but the best you can tell from this picture, as what you saw on June 14th before you even began swatching?
So how's the volume balance, people? Those of you watching,
the lighting conditions are so different
just about right, so that I can talk over them and Chandler can talk over them.
It's just a different thing. I can't really compare it. I know that I did collect blood from that area, though.
At some point before you came to testify in this case, did you have discussions with anybody at the SID laboratory about the fact that stains that you identified on June 14th on the console seemed to reappear in August of 1994?
No, it's argumentative and sustained.
Did you have any discussions with anyone at SID about the fact that stains which you said you swatched on June 14th were still present on August 26th?
Yes.
Spoke to Michelle Kessler about that?
Yes.
When did you speak to her?
I don't recall the exact date.
Was it between June and August?
That's the center panel from the Bronco.
I don't recall the exact time frame. It was shortly after she had done a search.
She had done a search.
Well, she participated in one, yes.
Of the Bronco.
She did a search or she participated in a search. Which one was that, Fung? That was like contradicting yourself within the same sentence, basically.
Pretty much.
Yes.
And did you discuss this with anybody else in the laboratory besides Michelle Kessler?
Mr. Matheson was also present.
All right. And where did this conversation take place?
This took place in her office, Miss Kessler's office, Mrs. Kessler's office.
Was it in the month of August, do you recall?
Watch band.
I don't recall the exact
In
one.
the month of September?
I don't know.
Was it prior, how long was it prior to coming in here and testifying?
Months.
All right. And it was before you began your preparation sessions with the district attorney's office?
Yes.
And
It's OJ looking like he wants to murder somebody.
let's take a look at the bottom of this exhibit. You see another red stain that's labeled 305. See that?
Yes.
Did you see that on June 14th?
I don't recall if I did or not. I didn't mark it down as something I was going to collect, though.
Yeah, see, they're asking whether he collected all of these spots, and he won't say yes or no. He's like, "Oh, I can't recall." Well, why can't he recall? He didn't write it down. Well, how about this one? Was that there? I don't know.
You would think that if you're working in the LAPD's forensics department, that you would be accustomed to writing things down, because generally writing things down is a really good defense against claims of wrongdoing, especially in such a significant case where you're probably going to be called to testify. Just saying.
Yeah. AP says, it's Frankenstein, not Frankenstein. Great movie. Young Frankenstein. What a great film. Frau Blucher. Insert horse whinnies here. Flux, thank you so much for the super chat. Ha ha ha. Brainwater. Ew. Mocha Dick Poon. All right.
Thanks, Flux.
Love your chats, Flux. Can't do this without you. Can't wait to.
They're always unique.
Catch up with you Friday. We're going to have fun with aliens on Friday.
Ooh.
Well,
I want to be here for that.
when you conducted this
I'll be
search of the
watching.
Bronco on June 14th,
We can remove that.
did you search the front seat area?
The front seat area?
Yeah.
Yeah, the seat that's in the
Yes.
front?
Yes.
The front
The
of the car.
driver's seat,
Yes.
the passenger seat,
Yes.
between the seats?
Ooh, between the
Ooh.
seats.
Sexy.
What do you mean between?
I mean, between
What
the
the
drivers and the
fuck?
You
passenger
mean the
seat.
console area?
The console area?
See, this is the problem with this trial. You can't start dropping F-bombs at the beginning of your YouTube stream. They don't like it. But did you check between the seats? It depends what you mean between. It kind of means between. Just say yes or no. Did you check between the seats? It's not the other side of, on top of, under, above, front, or behind. It's literally between.
I think Fung's getting tripped up over the wording, and he's making it unnecessarily difficult for himself here.
Oh my God.
That area where, it's between here and then there.
Yeah. You got one
With
thing,
his
you got
guy.
the other thing, and that space in the middle. That's what we're talking about there, big guy.
All you have to say is yes or no. It's not that hard. Come
Yeah,
on,
and
Fung.
move on. And then because it makes people like me frustrated and make my blood pressure go up unnecessarily.
See, I used to think
Yeah.
that he was on this. I've never seen this, so I thought he was on the stand for as long as he was, because it was defense that was, I'm starting to think that it's because he's taking so long to answer every freaking question that he's the reason that he's up there for that long. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a big part of it.
I'm starting to see it now. The way he answers questions, he takes like 3 times as long as he should, or 4 times, really.
All joking aside, they could have saved at least an entire day. At least, possibly more, by just answering the stupid questions.
How not to be a witness. This is the perfect video to watch.
Yeah. And even Barry Scheck has this like, did you just seriously ask that question on his face?
I
Yes,
can
I
see
did.
Check is
Both
getting
sides of it?
frustrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you look under the driver's seat from the front?
Yes, I did.
Did you look under the passenger seat from the front?
Yes, I did.
Did you look under the passenger seat from the back area?
Baby got
I
back.
don't recall if I did or not.
Did you look under the driver's seat from the back area?
I don't recall if I did or not.
Did you get into the back area, the back seat area of the Bronco when you were conducting this search?
With Mazzola?
At a later portion, yes, I did.
Ooh.
And you saw some red stains on
His
this
assistant.
console, did you not? On June 14th?
I did see red stains on the console, yes.
And when seeing red stains on the console, didn't you then examine that console as carefully as you could, simply because you saw some red stains on it?
I examined the console for red stains.
Examine it carefully.
I examined it for red stains.
Oh my
Not
god.
what he
You
asked.
won't say you examined it carefully?
God, really? Come on, dude.
What do you mean by carefully?
Oh my god! Are you kidding me? He's making himself look so unprofessional. I don't know why he won't answer the question and say, yes, I examined it carefully. How is it? I don't understand.
John Diaz, yes, these are leading questions. This is cross-examination. On cross-examination, you ask leading questions. So yes, they are leading because it's cross-examination. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, listen to these answers. And did you do this carefully? And the fact there's any pause there. And you know what he's thinking? He's thinking, okay, if I say no, I'm screwed. If I say yes, he's going to find something that I would have got if, you know, in his mind, if I would have done it carefully. What does he have? What could he possibly have thought? And then by then it's too late. And then he's got to think some more. So what do you mean by carefully? You got to have some more time to think. And it just makes him look 3 times as stupid as if he would have just given an answer.
And all it says to the jury is he did not examine it carefully. And therefore that introduces doubt. And what do you need to acquit somebody of a murder charge? Reasonable doubt. So, dude, come on. Are you? Oh, God.
And he's been prepared at least 10 preparation sessions with the prosecution. And all they had to do is go, look, if he asks you a question and you know about whether you did something, to the best of my recollection, yes or no. Did you do it carefully? To the best of my recollection, I was careful in it. That's all you got to say. And then he goes, well, did you do this? Maybe it wasn't, just whatever. Automac 1 says shoulder pads on a lawyer should be grounds for dismissal. This was 1995.
It was 1995. I mean, you know,
Every
I would say the Barry Scheck's
women.
haircut is a little bit worse, but you know, I'm not judging that much. I'm not the judge here, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not Ito, so.
Every suit, men and women's, had shoulder pads in them in the 90s.
Everybody had to have super big shoulder. I don't know why it was like a, you know, I mean, I guess was it an intimidation tactic in the courtroom? Possibly, but it was kind of.
The last person in the courtroom that needs shoulder pads is OJ, and he had shoulder pads back in the day, but now he's got shoulder pads in his suit. All right, this is insane.
Let's keep going.
Yeah,
With care.
Yes.
And Mr. Fung, has it been suggested to you that there's a potential contradiction between the fact that you collected stains on June 14th, but there are more stains on August 26th than there were on June 14th?
Sustained.
Was there any discussion with you about how you should answer questions about these red stains and their appearance on June 14th and August 26th with members of the district attorney's office?
We touched on the subject briefly, but not very long.
Did you have discussions with Michelle Kessler about how you should testify on this subject?
No.
Did you have discussions with Greg Matheson about how you should testify on this subject?
No.
Did anybody express concern to you that if you had followed if the jury were to believe you followed your instructions on collecting stains for DNA analysis?
I don't like the way this question's going.
You can tell. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll withdraw. Was there any discussion with you by personnel at SID that if you had followed the instructions for collecting stains for purposes of DNA analysis, this red stain that is 31 on June 14th and 303 on August 26th shouldn't have been there on August 26th?
a new stain has found its way? That's not good.
No, that does not sound good. No. Mm-mm.
No. And
Not at all.
Gee, if only he had categorized the original stains, it may have been different.
Yep.
They did indicate that they would have liked me to collect more of the stain.
They? Who's they?
Miss Kessler and Mr. Matheson.
Well, did they indicate to you that if you took the position that you had followed expected procedures, that the stain found on August 26th shouldn't have been there?
They didn't say that, no.
Did they express any concern about that?
They did
Some stains.
say they did want to know why all of the stain wasn't gone by the time they got there.
When you went back to the Bronco on June 28th to get the shovel and the plastic bag and the towel, did you see the red stains on the console?
I didn't look at
When you
That's the-
finished your analysis.
Mr. Scheck, you need to let him
Let him
finish his
answer.
answer.
I thought he did. I'm sorry.
I didn't look. No, I wasn't finished.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, saucy.
I did not look specifically at the console on that date.
Correct, Isabel. He was moving some evidence around.
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
When you finished your analysis of the Bronco on June 14th, finished collecting the stains, did you go back to SID?
Yes,
Did you fill out a report about what you had collected?
a property report, yes.
Well, did you fill out this vehicle search checklist report?
Filled out portions of it, yes.
You went back and you discussed
Portions of
with
it.
Greg Matheson what you had found in the Bronco
That day,
that day.
I don't know if I discussed it with him, what I collected that day or not.
Did you discuss it with him? That would be June 14th, correct?
Yes,
In the afternoon of June 14th, did you go back and have any discussions with Greg Matheson about what you'd found?
at the Bronco.
Yeah.
I don't recall if it was that afternoon or not.
Would it have been the 15th?
It may have been.
So either on the 14th or the 15th, you went back and you had a conversation with Mr. Matheson about what you'd found.
Yes,
Did you have a conversation with Ms. Michelle Kessler about what you found?
no,
When you went back and had your conversation with Mr. Matheson, did you tell him that you'd found red stains in the Bronco?
yes,
And did you tell him that you'd swatched some of the red stains from the console, but you didn't get it all?
I didn't state that, no.
Did you tell him that you left red stains in the console?
No,
Is it your
Phrasing.
testimony that you really left those red stains in the console, the ones that are in the position of 31 and 30 on June 14th, 303 and 304 on August 26th? You just knowingly left them there.
I collected representative samples from them.
And you did
my
not
God.
tell anybody when you went back to the crime lab that you just collected representative samples and left most of those stains still on the console.
That's correct.
And to your knowledge, you never saw the stain in the position of that's marked in this photograph, 305.
I didn't make a note of it.
Did you swatch anything from that?
Yeah, I didn't make a note of it. So either that stain wasn't there when he looked at it originally, or he didn't look at it closely enough to notice it. Either way, problems.
Huge problems. I mean, I know for a fact that the jury had, there are 3 jury members who wrote a book about, their dubious feelings about the blood evidence. And I feel like Mr. Fung most certainly contributed to that doubt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The more I watch him, the more apparent it becomes how much he screwed up this case. And I just keep asking myself, how could the prosecution have prepared him so poorly for this? I don't understand.
Just wait till we get a few days down the line, a few court days, not our day, a few weeks, perhaps months, our time ahead, when they're asking about the, spoiler alert, the drop of relatively fresh blood on the gate that was found 2 weeks after the murder occurred, that hadn't been found the first day, that was also contaminated with anticoagulant material that's used in evidence preservation.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah,
Looking
that's a
forward to
problem.
that.
There you go. There's the hook. See, we got to reel you in over the next few weeks. You're not going to know when we're going to get there. All right, let's go, Dennis boy.
From 305?
Yeah.
No, not that area.
Did you see it and decide not to swatch something? Is that your testimony?
Saying that's what may have happened.
There is no
You're
right
saying
answer
that's
now
what
because
may
he
have
delays.
happened because if 305 weren't there on June 14th, but it were there on August 26th, that wouldn't be very good, would it?
Sustain.
Well, did anybody express concern to you about the possibility that if 305 weren't there on June 14th, but it was there on August 26th, that would raise serious concerns at SID?
No one said that to me, no.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm sorry, people. There might be a few screaming goats involved in today. I'm already getting stressed.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Now, Mr. Fung, on June 28th, were you involved in the execution of a search warrant at Mr. Simpson's residence at Rockingham?
Yes.
All right. Let's hear about this one.
And just give me a moment, Your Honor. You might.
I can't decide which kill file to
Give you a
grab.
chance to stand and stretch if they like.
That's true. Thank you very
All
much.
right, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you go ahead and take a stretch if you like. Audience can do so silently, Ms. Feldy.
You know, you just got like all these gigantic binders.
Now, on
full
June
of things to kill
28th,
him
were
with.
you were part
Just
of a
which one do
search
we
team to
choose?
go back and execute a search warrant at Mr. Simpson's property at Rockingham? It's foundational, Your Honor.
All right, I'll allow a few questions, but let me see where we're going here.
Were you not?
Yes.
And you attended a briefing that morning before you went and executed the warrant.
Yes.
And you were instructed to look for a particular knife, were you not?
All right, let me see counsel with court report, please.
Wonder if it was Brian Kober's K-bar they were looking for.
All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
It traveled back in time.
Bet Fung wishes he could travel back in
Yes, I
time.
did.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm sure. He's dying up there. Poor
Mr.
guy.
Fung, let me take you back to June
Woodshed
13th.
and whip your ass.
You began your day by conducting a search at Rockingham.
Yes.
And then you left and went to Bundy.
Yes.
Then you came back to Rockingham.
Yes.
And when you came back to Rockingham, about what time was that?
Approximately 3:30.
And, excuse me, your instructions when you came back to Rockingham was to participate in the execution of a search warrant,
Yes.
to participate in a search.
That's what you usually do with a search warrant.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And you had just come from a
He was
very
even hesitating
bloody
to say
crime
he was
scene at
searching
Bundy.
under a search warrant.
Well, he's scared shitless at this
Yes.
point by Shaq, I think.
And when you came back to Rockingham, you were looking for, if you could find it, bloody shoes.
Upon returning to Rockingham, we were looking for any items that could have possible blood on them.
He asked him
And
about
that would
4
include
million
bloody
questions.
shoes.
Yes.
It would include bloody
Approximately.
pants.
Yes.
It would include a bloody shirt.
Yes.
It would include loose hairs that you might find that were covered in blood.
Again, we were looking for items with blood on them.
Well, that would include hairs that might be covered in blood.
Oh my God!
Possibly.
Answer the yes.
That would
yes
include
or no.
fibers
Possibly?
that might be covered in blood.
Possibly. What does possibly mean?
Possibly.
That would include flakes of dry blood.
Yes.
Any trace, the smallest trace of blood evidence you were searching for within Mr. Simpson's residence.
We were searching for items of blood.
And that would include
Well, Dog Mama, it
the
depends
smallest
if you
trace
think he
of
did or
blood you
not.
could find anywhere in Mr. Simpson's residence.
He was found not
No,
guilty.
not the smallest trace, no.
Not the smallest trace.
Not the smallest
Well,
trace.
When you
He was
entered
also
Mr.
found
Simpson's
liable.
residence in Rockingham and went up towards the master bedroom, you had to go up a stairwell.
Yes.
And there are 16 steps on that stairwell.
I didn't count them.
Something on that
Basically
order?
Schrodinger's verdict.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Something around there, yes.
And those steps are covered in a white carpet.
I don't recall what the steps were covered in.
Well, it was a light covered carpet.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
You don't
How do you not recall?
Well,
Is he think Check's trying to trick him at this
when you
point? Like,
went
Oh, yeah.
up towards Mr. Simpson's master bedroom, up that stairwell, you were looking for traces of blood, if you could find it, on the ground.
All over that area, yes.
And you found no trace of wet blood on that carpet.
That's correct.
You found no flakes of dried blood on that white carpet.
That's correct.
You found no hairs or fibers covered in wet or dried blood on that carpet.
That's correct.
And then you proceeded up those stairs and you walked down a hallway towards the master bedroom.
Yes.
And that was covered in the same kind of carpet.
I don't recall the carpet or what kind of carpet was there.
Would have been funny if
You
you would
saw
have
no
said yes.
trace of wet blood on that carpet,
No,
of dried flaking blood on that carpet.
that's correct.
On the banister or the walls of that stairwell, did you see any trace of wet or dried blood?
I did not detect any blood on that area.
And you were looking when you went up that stairwell for any hair or fiber evidence that could be associated with the Bundy scene.
Of course you were.
just say yes, damn it.
Of course you were looking for
Not
evidence.
fiber evidence, no.
Jesus.
Hair evidence.
If it was apparent, I would have seen it.
None apparent.
That's correct.
None that you could see.
None that I
This
detected.
None
has
that
turned
Ms.
into the
Mazzola
People
brought to your
versus Dennis
attention.
Fung.
That's correct.
At this
None that any
point.
of the detectives brought to your attention.
That's correct.
And then you got to Mr. Simpson's master bedroom.
Yes.
That'd be a
Did you lie
fleck
down? Did you
of
take a little
blood.
nap?
And you were looking for bloody clothing in Mr. Simpson's master bedroom.
Did it say clothes
Yes.
in the search warrant? Okay.
Bloody
God
towels.
Any object with blood on it.
Bloody bed sheets.
damn it. Yes.
Just
Yes.
say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Possibly,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh my
Mayor,
God.
I'd like to have this picture marked as defendant's next in order.
Darden and Clark must be like hitting themselves in the face repeatedly. I can't imagine
1089.
how that must feel watching him. Oh my God. They can't have been like, oh, he's doing really well. We prepared him excellently.
Oh my God. He gives me stress.
I know. I'm sorry, but you are responsible for your witnesses and for preparing them. 10 preparations. Look at how this guy does. I cannot. I mean, I don't know if he's just really difficult.
Another one that I asked to be marked is 10-9.
Jesus.
All right, photo 1090.
These two photographs
Right?
recognize 1089 and 1090.
That appears to be the Rockingham address, stairwell, and hallway leading to the master bedroom.
It's a fair and accurate representation of the general layout of the stairwell and the hallway leading to the master bedroom as you saw it on June 14th.
Is it June 14th?
As it was on June 13th. I'm sorry.
It was on June 13th. That's fairly accurate, yes.
All right, Mr. Scheck is 89, the stairwell, and 90, the hallway.
Yes.
Gee, check and answer questions quickly. Yes, Dog Mama, that is a monitor on its back. Welcome to 1995. That is a giant, big ass CRT monitor.
That's 1089. That's the stairwell, is it not, Mr. Fung?
I mean, the tech
Yes.
was cutting
And
edge
would you agree that's
at the time.
a white or light colored carpet?
It is a light colored carpet.
Finally, something.
Dog Mama says he wrote a book. Yeah, he thought it would be a great idea to write a book called "If I Did It"
And
and
now showing
explain
you
how
1090,
it would
sir.
have killed them
And
if he had
that's
actually
the
killed
same
them.
kind of carpet leading into the master bedroom.
Yeah, thankfully the
Appears to
Goldmans
be.
actually got all the proceeds from that
Now-
book. They retitled it "Confessions of a Killer." Interestingly.
When you entered the master bedroom, I think we were saying you were looking for bloody clothes.
Those were among the items of evidence we were looking for, yes.
And the truth is, sir, that on June 13th, you found no blood on any clothes in Mr. Simpson's bedroom.
There, you happy now,
personally
Quackashango? It's full screen
Found blood
now.
on any clothes?
The answer to your question is no.
I did not detect blood on any of the clothes, no.
And did you detect any blood on light switches,
No,
doorknobs?
no,
Did you conduct a search of the sink trap in Mr. Simpson's master bedroom?
yes, I did.
And did you perform a phenolphthalein presumptive test on the sink trap in Mr. Simpson's master bedroom?
Yes,
Grounds.
Noted. Overruled.
And that test came out negative for blood, for the presence of blood.
that's correct.
No blood in the drain.
Now, you saw two socks in front of Mr. Simpson's bed,
Yes, I did.
and these socks were placed right in front of his bed.
They were in the middle of a throw rug area.
And
front of the
did they
bed,
have
right?
the appearance to you that someone had just left them there hurriedly?
Sustained.
Well, as you saw those socks, did the thought cross your mind that they looked like socks that had been left there by someone in a hurry, right in front of the bed?
Sustained.
Could you describe for us how the socks lay on that throw rug?
I do like how, and it's one of these things that's just indicative of Barry Scheck's mental abilities. Is a lot of lawyers, well, we saw it. I mean, we saw Elaine Bredehoff just freak the fuck out. There we go, cursing again. Freak the heck out when her objections were, when her questioning was constantly objected to.
Yes.
And then to the point where she's like, I'm trying here.
I'm trying, Your Honor. I'm trying.
And then be like, lawyers can get frustrated. They want to ask the question and it gets objected to and it gets to stay. And they've got to think of another way to ask it. And then it happens again. But you just see Scheck just continues to roll with it. He'll ask it. It'll get, the objection will be sustained. He'll immediately ask it a different way. And then he'll immediately ask it a different way. He's never caught unprepared. He's always ready for the next question.
And in fact, he uses it to his advantage because in this case, what he's doing with this line of questioning, which I think is brilliant, and I don't know how he thought of this, the implication and this, and the subtle suggestion that perhaps the socks were planted on the rug. Did they look naturally like they had been taken off in a hurry, or was it maybe that somebody had laid there? I would never think to ask something like that, but it does plant doubt in the jurors' minds. And in fact, it seems like he's able to ask the question in these different ways. He's able to kind of imply more of what his theory is and sort of testify without testifying, which is genius.
Yeah, exactly. And D what says sink trap grounds. Full confession, I have two problems in my life. Anytime I see a box or someone gives me a box, I'm genetically now programmed to just say, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box? And and people just they're ready for it at this point because they know I'm going to do it instinctively. And then every time someone mentions a trap or shows me a trap, whether it be a sink trap, a muskrat trap, or whatever, it's always it's a trap. I have problems. So yeah. Chaos Coordinator says same. Yeah, so it's everything has to do with a trap. Or if you really want to know how weird I am, I do it for tarps too. It's a tarp.
You just transpose the letters. I like that one.
I'm not right upstairs.
That might make two of us, honestly. I mean, I'm up at 5 a.m. to do streams, so just look at what I got going on.
Right. All right, back to him getting funged over here.
Oh, one more thing. I just wanted to add with Murdoch. I've noticed that his attorneys, the defense attorneys, have the same thing that the defense team is doing here. They are very good at pivoting when their questions are objected to. It takes that is a really important skill. Anyway, that's all.
Oh, I've got to open my tea here and refresh my tea. So I'm gonna pretend I'm a Murdoch trial agent.
What's in the bag, Jeff? Yeah. What's in the bag?
Oh yeah. While we're grifting, this is the Dragon's Treasure tea. This is one of his every month he offers 60 different teas that you can order from. This is one for this month. It's Wrath. It's a very, very spicy tea. It's got black tea with cinnamon bark, ginger root, cardamom, cloves, and natural spices. Give you an extra kick. So it's got a really, not like hot spicy, like spicy, like
like
good
shy spicy. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you can really get the ginger. The ginger, the cinnamon, the cardamom, especially, and like this heavy cloves on the finish. And it
sounds warm.
It does. It smells like when we used to do this when I was a kid. I don't know if that was like when Christ was a corporal. But I don't know if you did this. You take like oranges and put cloves in them.
And no, never. I don't think I've ever done that.
You take like oranges.
That sounds like it would smell heavenly though.
Yeah, you put cloves all over them. You just let them warm in an oven for a few minutes, and then you just set them around the house for air fresheners. And as they slowly age, you just get this orangey, clovey scent, and that's exactly what this tastes like. So you want to go to the Dragon's Treasure and order any one of his teas. Use code VICES, and you can get 10% off. I get a 5% kickback. Win-win. So go to the Dragon's Treasure tea. Order yourself some tea. You will not regret it. Like I said the other day, I just got my order of $185 worth of tea here, so I'm stocked.
You're selling me. I might just have to get some myself. That sounds really good.
You're a tea drinker. Go. Dragon's Treasure. Boom. Done.
I will.
It's so good.
I love my chai. I love tea. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna check that out. You said 180 different kinds.
He has 60 every month. He has a monthly membership program, but I just got like $185 worth of tea this last month.
Oh, you're set. You're totally set.
I'm going to drink that much eventually, but it just saves on international shipping to get as much as possible at any time. But yeah, it's so amazing and it's so good. So there you go. Let's get back into it. TheDragon'sTreasure.com, code VICES.
No. What kind of description do you want?
So were they neatly folded?
No, they were not.
Did they look to you at the time you saw them as though someone had just taken them off?
I bet you don't make macaroni chains either, do you?
The socks appeared out of place in the middle of the throw rug.
All right.
They appeared out of place?
Yes.
And your attention was drawn to them?
Yes.
And you immediately that these socks might be a critical piece of evidence.
I didn't know if they were critical, but they were out of place.
Well, you had just come from a bloody crime scene.
Yes.
And you had seen
he just came because of a bloody crime scene?
Leading
That's weird.
To the back rear of that crime scene.
I'm not sure about that.
I must have misheard.
Weren't you very interested in examining the ankle areas of these socks?
I collected them so that they could be examined, yes.
That's not my question. On June 13th, when you saw the socks, were you not interested in examining the ankle area of those socks?
Whether it's interesting is irrelevant.
Oh. I collected the socks so they could be analyzed at a later date.
Asking about you. Were you not interested in examining the ankle areas of those socks when you saw them on June 13th? You.
Loading, loading, loading.
I did not perform a test on them, no.
I'm not asking you whether you performed a test. I'm asking whether
Oh my
you
God.
were interested in examining visually the ankle areas of those socks when you saw them on June 13th.
It's not a trick question.
Yes.
And you were interested in the ankle areas because it is the ankle areas that you would most expect to have blood on them if someone had been involved in a bloody killing such as the one you saw at the Bundy crime scene.
Not just the ankle area, no.
Well, ordinarily, wouldn't you expect
8.5
blood
days, notes on a phone. 8.5 days.
from a scene such as
And
you
we're on
had
day 2.
witnessed at Bundy to be on the ankle areas when a pant leg came up?
That is a possible area that blood could be in.
Was
I'll be
it
right
that
back.
more likely in your mind to be an exposed area than the heel or the sole?
That would depend on the circumstances.
Well, as you were thinking about it on June 13th, weren't you particularly interested in the ankle areas?
It's been asked and answered.
He's an
I think-
ankle
I'm
man.
sorry, you're right. Now, when you looked at the ankle areas of those socks on June 13th, you did not see a smear of blood, did you?
I did not look that closely, so I didn't see any smear of blood.
You've had a number of discussions with the district attorneys in this case about your testimony, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And you've had discussions with people at SID.
Yes,
And you're aware that questions have been raised about the handling of the sock in this case.
Objection, Your Honor, that assumes effect not in evidence.
Sustained.
Are you aware that questions have been raised about the handling of the sock in this case?
no,
No one has said that to you from SID?
nobody has.
They were being
In
nice.
your discussions
They
about
weren't
your
telling you how
testimony
bad of
with
a
people
job
at
you
SID, has anybody suggested to you that it might be a good idea to say that you didn't look at those socks very carefully on June 13th?
Nobody said that to me.
Did any district attorney suggest to you in the course of preparing you to testify that it might be a good idea to say that you didn't look very carefully at the ankle areas of those socks on June 13th?
No one had to tell me to say that. That's the truth.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Now,
oh.
you saw no trace of blood, wet or dry, in the white carpet area near the sock in Mr. Simpson's master bedroom.
I believe the socks were on a throw
I
rug.
understand. Before you get to the throw rug, there's a carpet area in the master bedroom.
Yes,
Or in that carpet area, you saw no wet blood or flakes of blood.
that's correct.
Okay. Isabella Rennie says, I've never seen people almost arguing for this long about socks. It's very important. These questions, how are the socks laid there? Was there any blood around the carpet area in front of the socks? He's going to get to the throw rug, and it's all going somewhere very, very important. It always
On the light tan throw rug where the socks were, did you see any flakes of blood at all?
No,
And when blood dries, in your experience, it does get crusted and flake.
Depends on how much blood is present.
But that happens.
It does happen in certain circumstances.
And you would be very, very interested to see even a flake of blood near those socks on the throw rug on June 13th. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You may want to tell us, sir, that you weren't looking very carefully at the socks, but you certainly were looking carefully at that throw rug.
Sustained. All right, Mr. Scheck, we're going to take a court reporter break at this point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 15-minute recess to change court reporters. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Do not form any opinions about the matter. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you. Do not conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. We'll be in recess for 15. Check. All right. Good afternoon again, Mr. Fung. You're reminded you were still under oath, sir.
All right, we're back
Mr.
from the.
Scheck, you may continue with your cross-examination.
We're back from our
Mr. Fung,
court
we were
reporter
discussing
break.
the socks. Now, I think we had just finished establishing that you did not even see flakes of blood on the throw rug around the socks, correct?
It's argument as far as
Overruled.
Would not expect to see flakes in that area, no.
You wouldn't expect to see.
Not blood flakes from the sock.
Well, if there had been a smear of blood on the ankle of one of the socks that was deposited there around 10:15, would you expect it to have been dried by the time that you saw those socks on the afternoon of June 13th at Rockingham?
10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in...
At 10:15 on June 12th, or around that time, if somehow a smear of blood had been deposited on the ankle of one of those socks, would you expect it to have dried by the time that you saw those socks in Mr. Simpson's bedroom on the afternoon of June 13th?
Yes.
And if blood dries on a smear and the sock is in any way manipulated, would you not expect to see flakes of blood fall off the sock?
it assumes facts, not in evidence. That's an improper hypothetical.
Sustained.
Let us assume, for the sake of exploring this issue with you, sir, that somehow one of those socks had been covered with a smear of wet blood at 10:15 p.m. on June 12th. You would expect that smear to be dried, I think you've indicated, by the time you saw it on the afternoon of June 13th.
Your Honor, I object. It's an improper hypothetical as to smear.
Overruled.
It's not a hypothetical.
I would expect it to be dry.
And if we further assume that in the act of taking off socks, the area in the ankle had been folded or rubbed, would you not expect flakes of blood to come off the sock?
That would depend on how much blood was present. If it was a light amount or a very small amount, I would not expect any. If it was a very heavy amount where it would have crusted in a clot type of fashion, then I would expect maybe there would be
That's a man who
flakes.
is thinking
Well,
when he
if there were a
speaks.
smear of blood,
What
Wait.
word do I use next?
I have a comment here.
Yes, yes, you do.
The idea that it's a hypothetical is patently absurd, first of all, because it actually is the state's theory of the case that the blood was there the night of June 12th. And so the jurors probably didn't catch this, but implying that it's a hypothetical makes it sound like that's not what really happened. So that's a ridiculous objection from the prosecution. I'm kind of floored at the implications of that. Is it just me? I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one who picks up on that.
No, I mean, first of all, it wasn't a hypothetical, and then, like you say, it's saying it is a hypothetical when that's literally what they're saying is problematic.
It's the state's theory. It's the state's version of events that there was blood on the sock the night of June 12th when the murders occurred. So are they contradicting that that's what actually happened? It sounds like they're saying, no, that's a hypothetical. Excuse me. That's I'm sorry, but I don't know why that word is being used in the objection, but that's really suspicious.
I'd be surprised if the jurors caught that. They're just kind of going, fungus.
I don't think they did, but I'm just from my perspective, I couldn't help but notice. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah. Matt Roofer says, I was thinking about this cross-examination yesterday when Griffiths eviscerated that SLED agent in the Murdoch trial. Yeah, I kind of was too. So that's actually one thing we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll probably be watching that cross-examination because I missed it and I had to watch it in replay today.
I missed it too. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard good things. Finally, something's happening in that case.
And Flux for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love getting the super chats. Chandler, did you grow up in LA? Do you know the joys of boysenberry punch? I'm coming home in March. How bad is it? I'm excited for Del Taco.
Oh man, boysenberry punch. So I did grow up in LA, Flux. I can't say that I've ever had boysenberry punch, but I have had Del Taco, and I find that really funny. I would personally, if I left LA, I would miss In-N-Out. I would miss Leo's Tacos, but I can't say that I would miss Del Taco. But who knows? Sometimes you miss weird things. I have a friend who moved to Australia, and she missed, ranch sunflower seeds and Lucky Charms out of all things. So I'd say, Del Taco is waiting for you for sure.
And me, as a kid, I used to love boysenberry syrup on like pancakes and waffles.
Me too. Oh my God, it was my favorite flavor. That's so funny. Had
a restaurant we would like occasionally go to for breakfast for family on like Sundays or Saturdays, and it just give me boysenberry or give me death.
I like them on Eggo waffles when I was very small. Boysenberry punch, though, I'm very curious. I'm gonna have to Google that. I have to look that up.
Go for it.
I don't know how I miss whatever that is. Being a native Angelino, but we'll see.
Well, this is Fung's 420 face. Let's see what he's bothered about. He's just chilling.
He seems bothered about this entire process, and honestly, I don't blame him. It's the people versus Dennis Fung at this point. He's on trial.
Yeah.
Half an inch to an inch long.
There's no evidence of such a smear. It's an improper hypothetical.
Sorry, my mind went dirty there.
Would you expect that might, if dried, and the sock were folded and manipulated, leave flakes of blood that might be visible on that throw rug?
That would depend on the concentration of blood present on that 1.5 inches of smear.
Or no, half inch. Let's start with a half inch.
Okay, half inch.
So I take it that you could, under certain circumstances, to use your terms, depending on concentration, expect to see flakes of blood.
Under certain circumstances, there may be some present, yes.
All right. And you get flakes of blood with dried socks when they're manipulated or taken off.
Dried socks?
That could happen.
Speculation.
Sustained.
You saw no flakes, right?
That's correct.
I'm looking at a flake right here.
Let's go back to the Bundy crime scene for a second. When you were at the Bundy crime scene, did Detective Lang take you out to that caged-in area where Mr. Goldman's body was found?
Yes.
And there was soil in that area.
Yes.
And in the back of that area, did he not point out to you what appeared to be a dugout hole?
The face.
I don't recall him pointing that out to me.
Well, did you see what appeared to be
a dugout
area in that caged-in soil part of the Bundy crime scene?
Vegas to the term dug out.
How is that vague?
Do you have a photograph?
They're objecting to the weirdest stuff.
Excuse me.
It was a hole. I mean,
yeah.
Like, what?
Dennis Fung is a hole.
Do you recall Detective Wang discussing with you that he believed there had been a fierce struggle between Mr. Goldman and an assailant in that caged-in area?
Calls for hearsay.
It was a cage fight.
Were you under any instructions to look for clothing that might have soil on it from that caged-in area?
At which scene?
Oh, what the?
Well, from your examination of the
one
Bundy
we're talking
scene and
about?
the area where Mr. Goldman was found, did you reach a judgment that some of the struggle might have occurred in that soil area?
Jeremy, we'll be there
That
in
was
10
one
minutes.
possibility.
And that one of the assailants might have, in the course of that struggle, kicked up soil onto shoes, pants, and socks.
Assumes the fact not in evidence, Your Honor, and it calls for speculation.
Oh, well,
Assailants.
Yeah.
you can answer the question.
All right. Did you consider, when you were examining the Bundy crime scene, that in a struggle with Mr. Goldman, an assailant might have
Good
gotten
boy.
the area of the shoes and the socks and the pants covered with soil from that area?
That is a possibility.
Did you not see such soil on the shoes and socks of Mr. Goldman?
I did not examine the shoes of Mr. Goldman.
Did you not see dug out areas in that soil that reflected a struggle between Mr. Goldman and someone else?
Dugout areas
Yes, dug out areas in the soil
that indicated a
The
struggle.
motion of his
that
hand.
might be consistent with a struggle.
Still vague and calls for speculation.
Oh, well.
Dennis
I did not
Fung,
make
are
that
you soiling
determination.
yourself
Well, did you see
now?
anything that could be consistent with that?
There was a disturbed area in the dirt area.
What do you
It would
mean by
certainly appear
disturbed?
so.
There was loose dirt in one portion of the caged-in area.
Loose dirt that could have been kicked up onto Mr. Goldman and an assailant during a struggle.
It's possible.
When you went to the Rockingham, I think we've found what is 83 in evidence.
Right.
All right, we'll watch about 5 more minutes of this, do a little bit of
Is that the
chat
disturbed
time on our
area
way out, then
we see
get onto the
depicted in
stupid
83 in
Murdoch trial.
evidence?
To the right of the tree?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'll make a motion to strike. It calls for speculation as to whether it's disturbed or not.
Oh, well.
I'm disturbed.
Is that what you meant by
I'm
when you said
disturbed.
disturbed area?
Jinx.
Yes.
And that appears to be, well, from your recollection, how deep was that dugout area?
I don't recall.
Now, Mr. Fung, when you walked up the stairs at Rockingham on the afternoon of June 13th, did you see any soil on the carpet of the stairwell?
I did not notice any heavy staining of the carpet, no.
Well, did you see any small flecks or flakes of soil on that carpet?
No.
In the carpet that covered the entryway to Mr. Simpson's master bedroom, did you see any soil or flecks of soil on that carpet?
No.
In the carpet surrounding the throw rug where you found the socks in Mr. Simpson's master bedroom, did you see any evidence of soil?
I did not see any.
On the throw rug where you found the socks, did you see any evidence of soil
No.
or dust?
Dust may have been present, but I didn't take
Did
a note
you-
of it.
I'm sorry, you finished?
Yes.
Did you see on either sock any soil?
I didn't notice any.
In the master bedroom, withdraw. Did you go into the bathroom?
The master bathroom?
Master bathroom.
Yes, I did.
And
you master
did
bath in
you
there?
take towels out of the hamper in that master bedroom area?
I did not personally, no.
But when you arrived there, you saw that somebody had done that.
I don't know if it was before I arrived or after I arrived, but it was done by somebody else.
Was it done in your presence?
There may have been some of it going on in my presence, but I don't recall how much.
Who was doing it in your presence?
I don't recall that.
Was it a detective?
Yes.
And they were looking through towels in the bathroom.
They were looking through the contents of the hamper in the bathroom.
Contained towels.
I didn't go through it that carefully.
Contained clothes.
There were clothing.
And no one called to your attention any clothing or any towel that had a trace of blood.
Oh, that's correct.
And no one called to your attention any towel or any clothing that contained soil.
That's correct.
I'd like to turn now to the circumstances of your collection of the socks.
Okay, that's a perfect spot here to end. We can talk about collecting socks next week. Let me embiggen this for timestamp purposes. So, so I can easily find it. No, well, that didn't help at all, did it? There we go. Put that there so I can check it next week and get our timestamp out of it. Patty B Photography with our probably last super chat of the day. Why is everyone so PO'd about Murdoch trial? I haven't been able to watch anything lately. Too busy working because it sucks. It's dull. It's boring. It's pointless. It's repetitive. And there's just nothing good about it. That's why.
Prosecution is taking a long time to put on an interesting case, and it's just not happening. But I'm too invested to stop watching. So it's like every time I'm like, oh, it's boring, I'm going to miss something. Everybody's like, did you hear? They tried to call for a mistrial. And I'm like, oh, God, I picked the worst day. So you have to keep watching. Yeah. It's the worst thing. Honestly, I can't wait until prosecution's done. No.
Nothing good happens in the morning when I'm watching. JK Debug 76 says, was Fung scared of losing his job and destroying his career? If he said the wrong thing, he really hesitates. Yeah, he didn't, but I'm sure he was terrified at the time going, holy crap, I'm going to be fired. I would have been.
Yeah, I would have been too. I feel like that significantly contributes to his hesitation. And I don't know if it's just that Barry Scheck is intimidating him on the witness stand. I don't know if it's that he really screwed up and he really didn't do his job well, and he knows that he's, going to be called to task. I think there could be a number of factors there.
I think it's both of those. He thought he did a good job until cross-examination started, and now he's like, holy crap, I'm getting murdered up here, literally. And
he's sitting there like questioning all of his life choices, basically.
Now he's deer in a headlight. He's just deer in headlights right now, just going, it's done. Crystal Pondak, I like the way you think. How deep is your? Actually, I was singing that song too.
That's what I was thinking too. I love the quiz. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I was singing that in my head, but I thought people wouldn't get it because it's an older song. And yeah, anyway. Chosen One, that was rude just because he wasn't keeping rapid fire pace. Are you finished? No. Judge Ito has admonished Barry Scheck 2 or 3 times for not letting witnesses finish, and so he was asking him, are you finished? So he didn't get yelled at by Judge Ito again. It may have sounded rude, but he was doing it self-preservation mode there. Oh gosh. And we got through about 45 minutes of this. Oh God, it's going to be like 6 years to get through the Dennis Fung. I cannot, main reason I cannot wait till the Murdoch trial is over is I can go back to 2-hour streams and not,
Yes.
these hour and 45 minute, hour and 15-minute streams.
Yeah, Murdoch is really he if he's guilty, he killed more than just his wife and his son. He's killed, interest.
Yeah.
He's killed, like the grift on various other areas of YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and the 45 minutes or so of the testimony we got through, we could have got through it in about 5 minutes if he would have answered the question.
It was short and sweet.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have obfuscated, it could have been 5 minutes.
Obfuscated is one of my favorite vocabulary words.
Oh, that's good.
And he's definitely doing a lot of that. I feel like his picture should be next to that word in the dictionary. Just Dennis Fung obfuscating everything.
That would not be unwarranted, really. Well, now this is your second week here with the OJ stuff, and literally we've got through about an hour and 10 minutes of the cross-examination. What's your take so far? You said you hadn't watched any of this way back in the day, back in '95, because you were probably like 4.
I was 2. I was 2 years old.
Okay.
I did not watch any of it. No.
Yeah.
My take is that I think that Barry Scheck is an incredible attorney. I think that he's very talented. I think that he's excellent at pivoting. He's everything that any litigator should aspire to be in terms of, ability to think in a rapid fire way and rephrase his questions. I think he's persistent. I think that he is destroying the witness. And I think that this is probably one of the most key testimonies in the entire trial, because I think that Dennis Fung got a lot of the jury to really seriously doubt the integrity of the LAPD and all of their examiners. And I know for a fact that 3 of the jurors doubted the blood evidence really significantly. So Fung did not deliver, and prosecution did not prepare him adequately. I feel like prosecution could have done a lot better. And I'm starting to get really critical of the prosecution. I know that Marcia Clark and Christopher Jordan, I know they did an excellent job. They did the best that they could, but I'm seeing serious flaws, because if that's a witness who's been prepared 10 times over, I just don't understand how it comes out like that.
Yeah. And it's astounding. Yeah, like you said, Clark and Darden did the best they could, but they should not have been the ones to do the trial.
Well, who do you think should have been?
Anybody?
Anybody else?
Anybody? Like Vince Bugliosi? I think he was retired by then.
Do you feel like they were unskilled, like they were not fit for the job?
Had it been a normal murder trial, yes. But when you're put up, as soon as the name F. Lee Bailey shows up as the defense lawyer, you just put whoever the top guys in the prosecutor. That's when you get the freaking attorney general himself to do this case. You bring out the big guns. And then you got
I'm really
Peter
looking
Neufeld.
forward. I'd love to see some of F. Lee Bailey, some of his work in the courtroom, because I haven't really seen any of that yet.
Go back and watch our F. Lee Bailey streams.
Oh, I have to. Yeah, so I have to get back to like that part. I haven't really gotten there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm looking
Go back
forward
in the
to
playlist to the Mark Furman racist cop who planted evidence.
Yes. Oh, F. Lee Bailey did Mark Furman. Excellent.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
feel like, okay, I definitely feel, okay, everybody talks about Furman. I don't think anybody ever talks about Fung. And I really think that, obviously Furman was like, that was the more inflammatory witness in this case, obviously, for so many reasons. He is the epitome of what a dirty, crooked cop is. But Fung was inept in his own special way. Yeah, basically. Pretty much.
All right, folks. Joe has started his stream, so we're going to wrap this up and head on over to Joe. So we'll do some last things here, and what's going to happen when we end, we're going to be automatically filtered over to Joe. If you're not automatically filtered over to Joe at the top of chat, it's going to be a little, something's happening over on Good Logic. Do you click to go find out? And if that doesn't work, just go find Good Logic on your own. Chandler, day 2, you're here. I hope you'll be here next week, because now you're locked in.
I will. I'm the co-host
hopefully-
now. I'm stoked to be. I've never been a co-host of anything. I'm so excited.
And hopefully next week we'll be able to do a little bit longer. If you want to get up at 4 a.m., we can do it.
That might be pushing it a little bit. But hey,
anything
everybody.
you want to say on your way out?
I just want to say to everybody, thanks so much for watching. I'm incredibly happy to be here. Go enjoy Murdoch. I will be Murdoch. Murdoch. I will be watching along, and I will see everybody next week.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Love having you here.
Absolutely.
And everybody, hit the like button on your way. You got like a few seconds left to do it. And whoever the two of you were that unsubscribed during this, go F yourself. Subscribe. All right, everybody, let's go say hi to Joe. Let him know that it's us. It's Legal Vices rating him. Talk to you later. Have a great day.
Bye.